Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What I'm about to tell you is some serious fire. Rumors are swirling. Sources inside the league are whispering that the Cincinnati Bengals might be open to one of the most shocking trades we've seen in recent years, trading Ja'Marr Chase. Yes, that electrifying LSU wide receiver who's been a nightmare for defenses and a key piece of Cincinnati's offense. And if this happens, it could trigger a seismic shift in the NFC West, and more specifically, open up a window of opportunity for the Seahawks to take another giant leap forward this season. So let's break down what's going on, what this trade could look like, and what it would mean for Seattle. Right now, the Bengals are in a bit of a rebuild mode. After their roller coaster season and some injury setbacks to Joe Burrow, their defense has been leaking points, giving up around 28 points per game. They're also facing cap issues, with only about $11 million in available space, and they're in desperate need of an offensive line rebuild. Their PFF grade for line play is hovering around 58. 3, not great, especially when they're trying to protect Burrow and give Chase the space to operate. With a record of 4-9, it's clear that Cincinnati is more focused on rebuilding their roster, especially on the offensive line, than on competing in the immediate future. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Chase, who's costing around $30 million a year, has a cap hit of about $23 million if traded. That's a hefty price tag, but the potential reward? Well, it's enormous. Chase is a game changer. He's a speedster, a deep threat, a true vertical weapon. In 2025, despite the chaos around him, he's already put up some incredible numbers: 91 receptions, over 115 yards, 5 touchdowns in just 12 games. His PFF grade is an elite 91. 2, and his EPA per target stands at 0.35, making him one of the most efficient receivers in the league. His yards after catch average is 6.2 yards, and he's forcing missed tackles on defense with 15 tackles lost, which shows how elusive and dangerous he is after the catch. Chase's career stats are staggering: 486 receptions, over 400 yards, and 51 touchdowns. He averages around 87. 5 yards per game, ranking second in the league behind Justin Jefferson. His total yards, including returns, are around 200, and he scored 60 touchdowns overall. He's had some injury issues, including a knee sprain in Week 4 that kept him out for 2 games, but even then, he showed flashes of brilliance, like his 10 receptions for 149 yards against the Ravens in Week 2. His explosiveness and ability to stretch the field are what make him a true unicorn. Now, think about the Seahawks' offense with Chase in the mix. Imagine Geno Smith or even Sam Howell, with Chase stretching defenses vertically, opening up possibilities for Metcalf and Lockett underneath. Chase's addition would elevate the Seahawks' aerial attack by at least 18%, boosting EPA per pass and adding about 2.5 yards per target compared to Lockett's current numbers. That's a significant upgrade. His presence would create mismatches all over the field, especially with the Seahawks' run game anchored by Walker, who's already racked up over 200 yards rushing this season. This balanced attack, combined with Chase's vertical threat, could turn Seattle into one of the most explosive offenses in the league. And let's not forget the impact on the Seahawks' defense. With a solid pass rush, they already have 20 sacks and a more dangerous offense. The Seahawks could become even more formidable, especially in play-action situations. Chase's ability to dominate deep routes, having scored 16 touchdowns of 20-plus yards in his career, would force defenses to respect the deep ball and open up even more opportunities for the Seahawks' secondary. They've been improving in pass coverage, and with more explosive plays, the Seahawks could extend their lead in the NFC West, making a serious push into the playoffs. Now let's talk about what this means for the Bengals. They're currently 4-9, and their defense is leaking points. The trade of Chase, while painful for fans, might be a strategic move to free up cap space and acquire draft picks or young talent to rebuild their line. They're looking at a rebuild that involves prioritizing the offensive line, which is critically important for Burrow's health, especially after the injuries he's faced. Without Chase, their offense could struggle even more, and they risk falling into mediocrity, much like the Browns after they lost Beckham Jr., trying to rebuild in a tough AFC North. But for the Seahawks, this could be the move that pushes them from playoff contenders to Super Bowl favorites. With a Chase in the lineup, the Seahawks could elevate their offense to a whole new level. Think about the potential scenarios. Chase lining up outside, Metcalf inside, and Lockett working the slot, a nightmare for defenses. His deep threat complements the Seahawks' already explosive offense, and it would give Geno Smith or Howell a true game breaker. Plus, in high-stakes playoff games, having a receiver like Chase, who can turn any play into a big gain, is exactly what you need to make a deep postseason run. And speaking of the postseason, the odds for Seattle to go all the way would skyrocket. Right now, the Seahawks sit at around +1,200 to win the Super Bowl, but with Chase, those odds could plummet to +600, a massive shift. His presence in the playoffs, especially in rainy, tough weather, would be a huge advantage, echoing the impact players like A.J. Brown had during the Eagles' run in 2022 when he elevated their aerial attack dramatically. The Seahawks with Chase could stretch the field and create matchup nightmares for any defense standing in their way. Looking further ahead, a trade for Chase isn't just about winning this season. It's about establishing a dynasty. Imagine a Seahawks offense with Chase and Smith, akin to the Montana Rice connection of the 80s or 90s. The Seahawks could be crowned NFC champions for years to come, with a core that makes Lumen Field a fortress. The fans would be chanting loud and proud, watching their team dominate on both sides of the ball and finally bring home another Lombardi trophy. Now, before we get too ahead of ourselves, there are hurdles. The trade price is steep, and Cincinnati isn't going to give Chase away easily. He'll likely ask for multiple first-round picks, and perhaps even a young player like a defensive end to help rebuild their defense. The Seahawks would have to weigh the cost carefully, but if they pull the trigger, it could be the move that defines the franchise for the next decade. This potential blockbuster trade also raises questions about how the Seahawks front office is thinking. Are they willing to make a bold move? Are they confident enough in their roster and coaching staff to acquire a player of Chase's caliber? Given how the Seahawks have been building this team, with a strong defense, a balanced offense, and a promising young quarterback, this move could be the final piece that turns a good team into a perennial powerhouse. And let's not forget the atmosphere at Lumen Field. The fans have been craving that championship moment, and with Chase in the fold, the energy would explode. The Seahawks could finally have that game-breaking receiver who can elevate the entire team and create a new era of dominance in the NFC West. The rivalry with the 49ers and Rams would intensify even more, making every game a must-watch event. All in all, this situation is unfolding right before our eyes, and it's a story you don't want to miss. The Seahawks are right at the edge of something huge, and a move for Ja'Marr Chase could be the catalyst that launches them into true Super Bowl contention. The excitement is real, the stakes are high, and the potential is enormous. We're living in interesting times, Seahawks fans, and it's only going to get more exciting from here. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you think, Seahawks family? Is this the kind of move that can propel us to another Super Bowl? Would you trade multiple first-round picks for Ja'Marr Chase? Do you believe he's the missing piece that can take us over the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Your opinion matters a lot, not just to us, but to the entire Seahawks community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and insights, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. We're all in this together, and the best is yet to come. Let's go, Seahawks.